Well, Authority Day is the day that we celebrate what happened August 1st, 1928. Prophet Noble Drew Ali, who was the founder of the Moorish Science Temple of America, filed a religious affidavit. He actually held a meeting July 20th, 1928. However, that affidavit wasn't recognized until August 1st, 1928. I say that one of the misconceptions as it relates to Authority Day is what day it should be celebrated on. Some celebrated July 20th, others celebrated August 1st. This year's Authority Day, we wanted to accomplish a meeting setting where individuals could learn exactly what Authority Day was. I wanted the attendees this year that attended our Authority Day celebration to know exactly what it was that Prophet Noble Drew Ali did August 1st, 1928. This was very important because we wanted individuals who attended to have the right ideal and information as it related to what Authority Day is. The misunderstanding and the gaps as it related to what Authority Day is, it comes from some of the practitioners not really understanding the legal ramifications of what actually occurred. Some of the actions that I took in order for me to accomplish my goal was to put together a timeline. The actions I took to further explain the history of Authority Day is I printed out the Articles of Incorporation of the Moorish Science Temple of America as well as the religious affidavit. I contributed to the effort to accomplish this goal by presenting the documents that would give the history of Authority Day. Temple One's leadership addressed the misunderstanding of some of the attendees by actually giving them a visual of the documents that Prophet Noble Drew Ali had filed. The moment that I knew that, the attendees were receiving the history that we were presenting is, their body language, the look in their eyes, the nods of their heads, the Islams that I even received. Some of the things I seen and heard that indicated that my original goal was accomplished was, some of the conversations I had with the attendees and them telling me themselves that they understood the day that we were celebrating. I believe we accomplished that goal not only by the turnout, but again by the feedback that we received from the attendees. The moment that I knew that we had succeeded was, some individuals who didn't have literature, they was requesting literature. Some people who never attended, they was telling us that they would return because they appreciated the history and information they received. As a Supreme Grand Sheik, some of the responsibilities that I carried was not only seeing that we had a location that we could have the celebration, but also, handling certain things that came along with that as it relates to food, as it relates to space, as it relates to promotion. Well, as a leader, I was tasked with the duty of putting together the historical information needed for attendees to understand. I pretty much knew the goals that I had to meet, so nothing was really, questionable. I didn't believe that it would be something that was harder to do. Personally, I knew that we had succeeded when I seen all of the faces that was in the room that day. And, even with the food, it was a lot of food and it was a lot of people there to consume the food. But, just seeing the interaction between the attendees, I knew that we had succeeded. The advice I would have for leaders of other organizations who want to preserve their history is proper preparation. As a leader, a father, and a husband, my duties to the religious organization is not really separate because it's one. This is who we are, so this is what we teach to our children. And I know that the children will preserve our history, will preserve our customs, our culture, because they are already doing it right now.
I look at Authority Day as being our Moorish Independence Day. Some of the biggest misunderstandings about Authority Day and its history are, I think most of our people are caught up in celebrating holidays like Independence Day, Juneteenth, but they don't really celebrate what's ours, our true independence as a nation. Um, I think that the leadership wanted to accomplish, or basically get the word out there that we are a nation and that we have authority over ourselves and we should be proud of that. I want attendees to basically know that we are a nation and we got to celebrate ourselves. Accomplishing this goal was very important because as far as acknowledging who we are and celebrating, if we don't do it, who else will? I would say that many challenges. Well, one of the main challenges was actually reaching the people. They have so many distractions, so many things. Out there in the world. Social media and a lot of misinformation out there. A lot of wrongful and harmful information exists. That can pretty much confuse an individual. Well, basically, this isn't the first year that we've done this Authority Day. We've been consistent with this. So with all consistency, things people have been, catching on. Okay, but I would say we've been getting the information out there, flyers done more early, putting the information out there so we can attract people. Well, so we had put together, demonstrations. We had speakers that represented what it is to be Moorish American, and placing a lot of emphasis on, I would say, moral character and also unity. Well, what we did, we organized and we made sure we had speakers to demonstrate what it represents to be a Moorish American, and we also placed a lot of emphasis in moral character and also unity. The conference ago, I was one of the speakers. I also assisted with putting together the flyers and also assisted with various things to make sure that this Authority Day celebration was a success. The many misunderstandings or questions, we address them directly. If somebody asks a question, we answer it. During the celebration, when I recognized that we were getting our goal accomplished, I was observing the reactions of the people. Some people were, let's see, they gave responses. They also, afterwards, they came up and said how much they appreciated, the different demonstrations and what they understood. At the end of the celebration, how I realized the original goal was accomplished. I saw the expression on people's faces, how they were responding and interacting with each other. I believe Temple One accomplished the goal by the way of the turnout this year. There was an excellent turnout. There was plenty of people, like I said, I don't know how many people came, but it was a great turnout. All the food ended up getting eaten up. The place was, it was a really good crowd. I think it was successful for attendees and help preserve this event for the future with I witnessed connections being made. There were certain Moors that they lived in close proximity to each other, but they didn't know it. But the meeting or the celebration brought them together, and they were able to make that connection. As Grand Governor, my role will be to make sure that the temple is, running according to law, so that the influence is good on the people. Some of the greatest, or one of the greatest things that we have to overcome, is the confusion, with our movement and the sovereign citizen movement. I let one know that we're not the sovereign citizen movement, that we are the Moorish Science Temple of America. We're a lawfully chartered and incorporated organization, and we are in conjunction, we are in line with the Constitution of the United States. I would say what role I played in the success, for the 2026 Authority Day was I just assisted with the organization, making sure that we had things in line in regards to the speakers, the food, the activities, and so on and so forth. We, the leadership, assisted in honoring the legacy of the Prophet Noble Ali by giving thorough demonstrations on the history so that people can have a good understanding and the relevance of how it applies to us today. After this celebration, everybody seemed to be uplifted. Everybody seemed to be happy and very proud to be Moorish Islam. I think we just need to keep up with the momentum as the temple leadership. Keep having events, putting the information out there, definitely raising more finance, right? So that we can do whatever is necessary to, to improve.
Authority Day is our holiday, our Moorish celebration. Well, I'm gonna say this: it was our Moorish Independence Day, and on this day, that's when our prophet, our holy and divine prophet Noble Ali, made the Moorish Temple of Science, and he changed it from from a civil organization into a religious organization, and the name was changed into the Moorish Science Temple of America. Well, one of the goals that the temple want to acknowledge is that us as an Asiatic people, we are a nation, and we should celebrate our own holidays, our own remembrance days. So we really wanted to just let the public know that, listen, we need to return back to our vine and fig tree, and this indeed is our holiday and our celebration, and we need to embrace our holidays and our celebrations. What I wanted attendees to know is, for one, that they are not Negroes, blacks, colored, or Ethiopians, or they are not even African Americans, as they were told, that we are indeed Asiatic. What I wanted the attendees to know after Authority Day was finished is that we indeed have a holy and divine prophet that came to uplift us and teach us about our nationality and our divine creed, and let them know that we have to worship under our own vine and fig tree, and that we need to come together as a nation, and this to bring about unity among our people. The reason why it was so important for me to see the attendees get this wonderful knowledge and this wonderful celebration we have, because it gives me hope that and faith that my family will soon come into the knowledge of themselves and the divine holy prophet Noble Drew Ali, and come to their understanding, so that way they can come into Islamism and learn about their true nationality and divine creed. Me on a personal level, I really didn't see a major obstacle. I think the real thing was just trying to get the message out to the people, so that way we can reach the people on a more nationwide level. Real, for one thing that I know for sure, Mo, is that you have a lot of fashions of the Moorish Science Temple of America, and that shouldn't be, because we only have one prophet, which is Divine Prophet Noble Drew Ali, and it's only one Moorish Science Temple of America. So we just got to come to that understanding that our supreme grand sheik always taught us that there's only one prophet and one temple. So we got to come together in unity without all these other fashions. I think one thing they did that was wonderful is that they went to the community to let them know about Authority Day. Supreme Grand Sheik and Grand Sheiks and the other officials, they put stuff on social media, to get the word out, so that way the Authority Day can grow bigger each and every year. Well, one thing that I did to accomplish that goal is just me and my wife being present at our Authority Day, and also we provided the food for Authority Day, so that way people could get not only the spiritual nourishment, but also for the physical nourishment for the whole for Authority Day. One thing I realized that everything it was a success, that I heard some of the attendees say that they're going to try to come to the temple, and then I heard even with my wife say that she's going to try to attend more Authority Days. For one more, I think how we succeeded is one thing. Our temple is a family, and we worked it good. We worked it good together, communicated together, and it just with the Supreme Grand Sheik and the Grand Sheik is they love the Prophet. They love the Grand Major Temple, and I think that what helped Authority to be a big success. One thing I learned that, like I said, even on a personal level, like with my wife, after Authority Day, we was going back home. She was. It kind of raised her, her thought process and her curiosity, to make her want to attend more of, not only Authority Day, but even attend more of the, meetings that we have at the Moorish Science Temple of America. Without my faith, I wouldn't be able to make the journey from Florence, South Carolina to Fayetteville, North Carolina to attend my temple meetings and our holy celebrations. So, with that being said, all the praises go to Allah and honors to our illustrious Prophet Noble Drew Ali. Vanguard is he is a guardian of the temple. He's a guard of the temple, and he stands his post. He or she, and we make sure that first of all that the temple is secure, and that the Supreme Grand Sheik and the Grand Sheiks and all the officials, laborers, and members are safe and secured in the temple. What convinced me that it was a whole Authority Day was being accomplished by our leadership is how the people was interacting. Well, one acts of service was, just being a steward of uplifting fallen humanity, because that's at the end of the day, that's what it's about, unity. one thing of importance that I want them to remember is that Authority Day was a day set for us as a nation.